relations between Tokyo and Beijing are concerned. In a fresh set of remarks, Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takichi has stated that her country remains open to all forms of dialogue with China. This comes amid the ongoing diplomatic tiff that has been ensuing between the two East Asian nations ever since Prime Minister Takichi first remarked on a hypothetical Chinese attack on democratically ruled Taiwan, emphasizing that Japan would have to be involved militarily in such a scenario. Now, according to the remark that Takichi gave to her parliament on the 7th earlier this month, she stated that in the event of a Chinese attack on Taiwan, Japan would consider opting for a military response, as it would amount to quote-unquote an existential crisis for Japan. Let's now listen in what Sanae Takichi has stated as the G20 summit in South Africa's Johannesburg concluded yesterday.
その上で、日中間に懸案と課題があるからこそ、それらを減らし、理解と協力を増やしていくべきだと考えております。我が国としては中国との様々な対話についてオープンでございます。扉を閉ざすようなことはいたしておりません。その中で当然、我が国として主張すべきことは主張していくということが大事でございます。このような姿勢のもと、今後も適切に対応を行ってまいります。
Prime Minister Takichi has also noted that she did not have the opportunity to meet Chinese Premier Li Qiang during the summit. However, Japan's policy of maintaining stable and mutually beneficial relations with China always remains clear and consistent. Earlier, Wang Yi, China's foreign minister, also commented on her remarks, stating that the Japanese Prime Minister sent a wrong signal of possible attempts of military intervention in the Taiwan issue. Wang Yi has stressed that Sanae Takichi crossed a red line with her remarks, as according to him, they intend to threaten China's territorial integrity. With us on the broadcast is Dr. Satoru Nagao, fellow at the Hudson Institute, joining us from Tokyo. Thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX World. Now, the optics of what we've seen at the G20 summit have been very, very interesting. Sanae Takichi going viral for that very famous hug with Giorgia Meloni. You've seen a sea of men, political stalwarts in their suit and tie, and here are two women leaders from Japan and Italy who've hugged. But that's not all. She's also kept her distance from Chinese Premier Li Qiang. With this statement, could we read it as a signal by Prime Minister Takichi leaving the door open for now the Chinese side to take a call, as the ball is now in their court?
Japan's stance hasn't changed anything in this case because Japan is always open to negotiate with China, and China closed the negotiation with Japan. Current situation is very simple. Only China escalated the situation. Japan did not react to anything. So that's why China is creating the problem, and China, if the world wished to de-escalate the situation, of course China can do, not Japan. Japan side is open to negotiate. Japan did not escalate the situation, just waiting the China's action. Then China's action is just escalating the situation, claiming itself is escalating. So everything is controlled by China. But at the same time, this conflict itself is created by China, not Japan. So Japan is just watching and waiting and open for the negotiation with China. That's all. So this is the current situation. So that's why if there is something, the distance between Japan and China, China can control it. Japan side is always open.
Indeed. And then can we expect the Chinese to take the olive branch that Prime Minister Takichi has extended, or will we now expect Beijing to dig its heels into the ground and not budge?
In case of China, why this has escalated? Because China wants to escalate it. So that's why China's real opinion is escalation is beneficial for China. So that's why China wants to escalate. That's why it will not end the escalation. Only China is controlling, and China really want to escalate it. So why they want to escalate it? Because making pressure to Prime Minister Takaichi's new government is good information to test the Takaichi's capability. But view from the current situation, Prime Minister Takaichi is a very tough lady, not concede anything. So just say the open the negotiation, and Japan's claim is, of course, she will claim in the negotiation. That's all. So this means that there is no concession from Japan side because Japan believe that this is a fact and honest explanation Japan did. This is not a problem. So China want to escalate and to test Takaichi's capability. So PM Takaichi's capability is silent response and very tough and not concede. That is the current situation, I think.
Indeed. So you're reading into it as a test by Beijing into Prime Minister Takaichi's resolve. She does not seem to be backing down at the moment. I request you, sir, to stay on with us as we're tracking some other developments. We're now learning that Chinese Premier Li Qiang has called for enhanced